I read on your website that women, Satan, and feminism are closely connected to one another. Can you explain that to me?
It's the same thing you look at throughout history. You look at things like Satan and you look at women. The two have been persecuted without real inquiry into why they're persecuted. It's just sort of an assumption. It's something we're told to do, especially in any society that's heavily Judeo-Christian in values.
Christianity has persecuted women, Satan, and feminism.
I'd say so.
Jesse Lee Peterson is left stunned by the satanic feminists' worldview in this debate as Jesse Lee Peterson asked this Lucifer-worshipping independent woman about Black Lives Matter, and her answer has Jesse Lee Peterson shocked by her insane logic. Let's get in.
She's also a feminist as spokesperson for the Satanic Temple of Los Angeles. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
What does Satan believe?
He challenged God's authority, and he probably wasn't happy with the will that God was sending him to do these things like killing people. So I think him and some of the angels got together at some point and went to God and said, why do you have all this power? And he, our interpretation, at least mine, is that God probably felt threatened having his authority challenged, so he cast Lucifer and those angels out. And that's kind of how we feel. We're outcasts. We feel like we've always been on the fringes of society and never really fit in somewhere, and that certainly stands in politics and ideology.
Do you personally challenge God's authority?
I don't believe in God, so I don't challenge his authority.
Do you believe in good and evil? Good or evil?
I think there's gray area in between. I don't think it's so black and white, but I mean, I believe there are good people and bad people.
What's the gray area?
I think that's where the idea of sin comes in. People get lost somewhere along the way in their life, and they're generally cast out. People succumb to drug addiction or theft, things that maybe they had no choice but to fall into those situations. Generally, that's seen as sinning, so that would be considered being bad.
Right.
I think that falls into that gray area where people along the way in the path of their life, they kind of lose their path and they might make bad choices, but they can fall back on the path. And I don't personally feel like I need God to do that. When I've had hardship in my life, I never felt like I had to rely on a higher power. I felt like it was always up to me.
I read that at the Holocaust Museum, you teach children and teenagers about genocide, racism, and social activism. The people who hired you, are they aware that you're a Satanist? And they still allow you to teach there?
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
No, I mean, what we teach is tolerance.
The Holocaust, was that an evil act or good or gray area?
Certainly an evil act.
But you don't believe in evil?
Not evil in the biblical sense, but in a bad sense.
Are you evil or good or gray?
I think I'm a good person.
You're a good person. And what made you good? How is that you're a good person?
I care for others.
So you teach about racism. Define racism for me.
Hatred towards another race or skin color.
I've never met a person who hate another person just based on color alone. Have you?
I have.
You have? Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I was actually a student I had at the museum. We started talking about Black Lives Matters. I was talking about Martin Luther King Jr. and civil rights movements today. And he kind of interrupted me and said that he thought Black Lives Matters was people trying to incite a race war. And that really disturbed me. So I pulled him aside at one point and I kind of just asked him. I didn't challenge his opinions. I just wanted to understand why he felt that way. But my understanding is that he grew up in a household that instilled those ideas into his head.
So I can see that Black Lives Matter is an evil group. They're worse than the KKK. They are trying to stir up a war between the races, a race war. Am I racist?
I don't think you're a racist if you feel that way.
But the white guy, you just said the white guy was a racist, or is a racist for feeling that way.
Well, I don't know if I would call him a racist necessarily because he was so young.
What do you think about how I feel about Black Lives Matter? It's an evil, dirty group, agitator group of people, and they're no different or maybe even worse than the KKK. What do you think about me feeling that way?
Do you really feel that way?
100%.
You do? That they're worse than the KKK?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I can't comment on that because I'm white. So I feel like that's generally between different ethnic groups and people of different skin colors. So I feel like I can't comment on your feelings and opinions towards an organization around your own ethnicity.
How about if I said that about a white group? Would you comment then? If I said the KKK is evil, you know, a evil group of white people, would you comment then?
I would agree with you on a personal standpoint, and also because you are not white, there might be, that to me is racism. It's between different ethnic groups and skin colors.
How you come up with this? Where do you come from?
Where do I come from? From LA.
Folks, let me know down below, would you feel comfortable working alongside a Lucifer-worshipping satanic feminist? Because personally, I wouldn't feel the most comfortable about that. I mean, look, she seems nice, you know, she seems nice, whatever, like that, but, you know, she wants to say it's all about tolerance. Well, she's not tolerant of other people's views, and I certainly don't understand how, you know, someone saying that Black Lives Matter is trying to incite riots, which is literally what they did, evidence that they hate a group of people solely based on their skin color. He didn't even mention their skin color. He talked about the group starting riots and a race war, right? That's not him saying I hate black people because they're black. That's like all the other words that I use that you didn't. It's like these people are just absolutely delusional. And I'm not even surprised. She's out of LA. Of course, this satanic feminist is out of LA. Where else would she possibly come out of? Washington, D.C.?
How are you coming up with this?
Just my thoughts.
What do you say to a person like me who realized that racism is an illusion and it's made up by people who are liars and they want to control a group of people, like the black race hustlers want to control the white folks in order to gain power and wealth, so they keep black people angry, pretending that racism exists so they can use them to go after the whites so they can gain power and wealth. What would you say to me?
That's an interesting opinion I've never heard before.
You've never heard that?
Mm-mm.
Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. Will you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense?
It does make sense. I see what you're saying.
I read on your website that women, Satan, and feminism are closely connected to one another. Can you explain that to me?
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing you look at throughout history. You look at things like Satan and you look at women. The two have been persecuted without real inquiry into why they're persecuted. It's just sort of an assumption. It's something we're told to do, especially in any society that's heavily Judeo-Christian in values.
Christianity has persecuted women, Satan, and feminism?
I'd say so.
So women are close to Satan. They can identify with Satan.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think us in our situation, we don't identify with Satan, but the act that he did in the Bible is something that we're experiencing today, challenging theocracy, challenging authority where there shouldn't be.
So how long have you been a feminist?
Probably ever since I kind of could comprehend what a feminist was or what it meant to be a feminist.
And what is it?
A feminist? Just equal rights. I'm not burning my bra, or I don't hate men, but I believe that there is a huge difference between equal rights. Women don't have access to a lot of the things that men do. We are treated very unfairly in society, culturally, and that's a lot of what our concern is that the church steps in there and has a huge role in that. I think once I could first kind of perceive what that was and those issues, and they started to scare me as a woman, as a US citizen, that particularly men, because of their ideological standpoint, want to control my body and my personal life. That's very frightening to me.
And how do men want to control your body and your personal life?
Well, in terms of Christianity, Catholicism, you see that the story of Eve, she was sort of the first person who bit from the apple from the tree of knowledge. She was the first one, I suppose, who interacted with Satan. And Orthodox Judaism, women can't pray or oftentimes eat in the same places that the men do. In Islam, women have to cover their bodies. And we have that here, in any major Judeo-Christian society. You go to a tribal society somewhere, you'll see the same thing when women are menstruating. They have to go live on the outskirts of the village.
But I don't think you'll find that in America today. In America today, women can do whatever they want.
Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson is absolutely spitting facts, because feminists want to complain about literally everything. Everywhere that she's complaining about, whether it be on the other side of the planet or in other countries, it's always somewhere else, other tribes, down in Africa. She's in America. You are in the most privileged place on the face of the planet, and she's complaining about all these things happening to women in other places that aren't America. It's like she's just looking for a reason to complain and whine, create chaos for literally no good reason. So much so that now feminists demand the right to vote without going to war. They want equal pay without equal effort, and whenever they can't cut it, they just want to make the men pay for it. But folks, thanks for watching. Let me know down below what you thought about Jesse Lee Peterson being left stunned by this satanic feminist in this clip. Thanks again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.